Hello and welcome to Rob's Lifestyle channel, and also the first time that I'm going live and doing live streaming. Now, I've had a couple of difficulties straight away, so I'm hoping this isn't going to be too boring for you or too all over the place. I apologize straight away. But we are going to be talking about a really important subject and something that's very close to my heart, as I work with a lot of clients with it. And I know that there's a lot of people out there as well that are suffering from it, and they don't actually know where to turn and what to do. So I'm here today to really kind of share my experience with you. And also to give you some questions or some answers to the questions that you would like to give me, anything you'd like to know for yourself, for your other half, for a family member, or for a close friend as well. Just about hair loss. Now, this covers not just men, it is women as well. Now, I know there's a lot of women out there that have used other products, and they're happy to talk about their products and use them, whereas men are a little bit more quiet about it as well. So this is a very open channel. I really want you to all talk to me and tell me if there is anything that's worrying you about hair loss, because there really is nothing worse sometimes than when your hair is not right. You don't want to face the day, and it can be as easy as a feeling better about your hair will make your day, your week, and your life a lot better. Now, today I'm going to be going over 4 different points. The first ones are the reasons why you can lose your hair. So I'll be going through that with you. Number 2, the results of your hair loss. So that's your emotional and physical. Number 3 are the hair products for hair loss. So shampoos and ointments and supplements, I'll be covering them as well. Please as well, when you're talking to me, if there's anything that you've actually used shampoo wise, supplement wise, then please just talk to me and let me know what you are using, and if you've had any positive or negative results with it. Number 4, are there any cures? So certain services that you can actually use to cure your hair loss. I will go through them as well. And number 5 is Q&A. So if there's any kind of questions that you want to ask, or you put in the comments, then I will go back through and I will answer them as well. So first of all, I want to say kind of hello to everyone. I hope you are all doing well. Hello, hello, hello. And just let me know. Just send a quick hi if you want to, any kind of messages, and I'll see if I can get that. Yeah. Let's see if this works. Great. So the first point that I want to go through with you are the reasons for hair loss. The first one that I would like to go through is genetics. Now, there are a lot of old wives' tales regarding genetics about whose fault it is, whether it's your mum's side or your dad's side. Ultimately, it is the strongest gene that takes over with that part of your body. So it's to do with estrogen and testosterone levels. If you generally are a man with a high testosterone levels, then you'll find that you'll get a lot of body hair, and you will find that your hair is possibly thinner and therefore going to male pattern baldness. And for women as well, unfortunately, if your testosterone levels are higher than your estrogen levels, which does help with hair growth, that will demise that. So you might find that you've naturally got finer hair anyway. So there's the estrogen levels aren't high enough to produce thick hair throughout your gene pool. So therefore, that's why you'll find that your hair thins, especially with age as well. So the first one we're going to talk about is alopecia, and it's androgenetic alopecia, which is exactly what I've been talking about, is male and female pattern baldness. Now, a lot of people think it's just the men that can get pattern baldness, but it certainly is the women as well. Just a couple of facts for you. 50% of men over 50 will get male pattern baldness, and 50% of women over 65 can get female pattern baldness. And what this is, it's a starvation and a shrinking of the hair follicle and the hair bulb itself. When you've got your hair bulb, you've got lots of capillaries and filling that hair bulb full of blood circulation and oxygen, and these kind of decrease over time, and ultimately it starves the hair bulb. It's almost like a plant not getting enough water or plant feed or anything like that, and it starts to shrink and stops down. So that is androgenetic alopecia. Alopecia areata, is normally starts with the very small, very smooth, bald areas around your hair. Now, this can happen during pregnancy and after pregnancy especially. This can be brought on by severe stress or trauma within the body, and it also can come on just like that. It can be like someone just flicking a switch. You wake up and you've got a very bald area. So it can grow. Now, when you do get a small area, the first thing to do is not panic. But I understand that's really bloody hard to do or to not do. But what could possibly happen is that piece will grow and grow, or it could grow and grow. Now, if it does, you do need to get checks. So you need to see a doctor, make sure that you can get checked into a dermatologist to have a look at it, just to keep an eye on it. Because ultimately, if you're looking at this bald area, especially at the front, every day you'll be really kind of concentrating and almost telling yourself whether it's getting smaller or getting larger, or it's just staying the same. But when a professional comes to see it, he will see it in big blocks of time, so he can give you a clearer answer whether it's actually getting worse or whether it's getting better. So that is definitely one thing to do. And also as well, your hairstylist can tell you. You normally see your hairstylist on average every 6 weeks. So they can tell you if it's getting worse or better. I know there's a few clients who didn't even know they had it right at the back of their head, and I pointed it out. And they didn't even know. They went and got it checked, and we kept an eye on it together. I took pictures on my phone and on their phone, and we dated them. And then every 6 weeks, we measured the pictures together to see if it's getting any worse or not. Just to jump in and to see how everyone's going. Hello, Cliff. Hope you're all doing well. Hope everyone's doing well. Great. So the next part is scarring alopecia. Now, scarring alopecia can be brought on by different illnesses. One illness in particular is lupus, which is a degenerative immune system illness, which can cause it. Scarring alopecia is a permanent damage to the hair follicle. And if it's caught early, it can be tracked to slow down. If it doesn't slow down, then it's really something that's never really going to stop. It doesn't hurt. It just looks quite vicious. Now, I've got a couple of pictures to show you later on, and it's not very nice. And I can imagine if you were to get it one day and look in the mirror, you would really get quite a shock on it. It is probably the most visually scary thing to see, especially when it's on your scalp and you're getting less and less hair. So something like that, I think it's really important to know where it can go if you do start seeing parts of that. But again, you must see the doctor. I will show you the picture later on, just to really kind of see what to look out for, more importantly. And then you can see your doctor for further notice. So that's with your general alopecia. And there's quite a few types of alopecia, but they are generally your bigger ones. But more importantly in this day and age, and I think everyone suffers from it in some degree, is stress. Now, stress really kind of hammers your whole body. It will change your sleeping patterns. It will change your concentration levels. It will increase your fatigue levels. And therefore your body, even though your mind is under stress, your whole body will be under stress as well. And there's certain chemicals when you're under stress that gets released in the brain. And some of these chemicals are fantastic for the body to really kind of create more defense, but others can be really quite draining. And unfortunately, when your body puts things into order in which is more important to save, your hair, your skin and your nails are last on the list, especially your hair and your nails. It's to look after the major organs within your body, is to keep that function. So when you are having a long period of time of stress, there will be a long period of time for which your hair will be affected to when it will come back. Now, just a little bit of science. There are 3 stages of hair growth. There's anagen, catagen, and telogen. If you think of the word act, it's quite, I suppose it's quite apparent now. If you're stressed, you need to act on something. So your anagen is your growing stage, then you've got your resting stage, and then you've got your telogen, which is your shedding stage. Now, if any of those 3 are out of sync with any of them else, the next one will be affected. Therefore, you will lose hair. So you need to really kind of keep this cycle going amongst other things in your body. So the key things that you need to do, and it's quite simple. It's very easy for me to say, but it's very hard to do. I've had stressful points in my life where I've really thought that this list that I'm about to tell you is really not that important. But it really is, because it will affect your psychology as well, and how you look at yourself. If your skin starts changing, or if your hair starts changing dramatically without your control, it will really affect your psychology. So the first on the list is your nutrients from food. Go back to basics completely. When you're looking at certain supplements, vitamin supplements, I do think some of them are great for you, but I would think you should see a doctor to see if you're deficient in anything. If you're not deficient in anything, there's no need really to take any major basic supplements, apart from if it was to help your psychology and your stress levels, then maybe take them. But really, you should be getting your nutrients from your food. So a nice, healthy, balanced diet. Now, I know when we're feeling low, we like to have a drink. I know in lockdown, I've certainly felt like that. But it's not going to help long term. So really kind of get your oily fish back into your diet at least twice a week. Your fruit and your veg is really healthy. I'm well into avocado at the moment. I've got really dry skin, and I've read up that avocados are great for skin, so I'm starting to use that. Your second one is your rest time, your relaxation. This is no screens, no work, no telephones. the person or people that you're most relaxed around, and just take time to stop. If your body can't stop and it's constantly on the go, you are not going to give your body that rest, that mental rest and that physical rest that what it needs. So go in dark rooms and listen to like relaxation music, take very deep breaths in. Now, there was one thing that I've heard, actually I didn't hear it, I read it, about smoking, and how when smokers really need a cigarette, will go outside and they'll light up and they'll and they go, oh, that's so much better. And it's not the cigarette that they need, it's the deep breath, it's that break, it's that mental break, and your body taking a deep breath in, lots of oxygen, and your brain to re-engage and calm down. Now, I'm definitely not saying smoke, do not smoke, it's bad, but the deep breaths really do work, and a lot of meditation tells you about breath control. I would like to get more into it. I've got quite an active mind, but I know there's times where me and my other half, we need to take ourselves away from TV screens, phones, and we relax. We give each other a shoulder massage. We, you know, little things like that really will help. Also, as well, percentage-wise, if you do have a cat or a dog, you are 25% more chilled than you are with someone without as well. So that's just a little random fact that I got. So the third one is, now I've just told you to rest, is exercise. Now, good exercise should only take you 20 to 30 minutes a day, 5 times a week. If you can do that, you can really go on and fight the day. Now, I've noticed myself, and my mental health has kept reasonably stable during the lockdown, because we've been doing exercise classes via YouTube, and it's really been helping. We've picked a class that we like doing. It's a Team Body Project with Daniel and Alex, and they've started from the beginning, and they've got us off our backside, and it's been really, really good. I've loved every single minute of it, and it's made me feel a lot better as well. So yeah, so exercise. So find an exercise that you like. If you can do it 20 to 30 minutes for the day, that's really good. I'm getting dry mouth. Right, and so for anyone who wants to take action, and they can't necessarily straight away be you know, eating well, resting well, exercising, that these things they take the time. That it's over time, I get that. The fourth one is the hair that you've got, the hair you've got on your head. How can you treat it? So first of all, when shampooing, I would say for women, you shouldn't be shampooing it more than twice a week. This will aggravate any extra hair loss. So keep that to a minimal. A lot of women can keep sort of once a week. It's absolutely fine. Men, I would probably do twice or 3 times a week. But if you get in the shower every day, just really kind of give it a nice rinse with warm water. There might be a little bit of product left in, but that should be okay for you to restyle. And then when you're shampooing, try not to use the tips of your thumb or your fingers, and really digging in and scrubbing, especially men with very heavy-handed. So it needs to be done to really kind of give it a really good scrub. So what you need to do is you place your product on the tops of your hands and rub like that, and then just rub in circular motions, coming around like that. Then eventually just the whole palm coming round. It's when you've got plenty of lather. Just remember, a good hair product, a good shampoo. You don't need to add more product. You should only add a little bit more water, and that should loosen up the product to get through. Conditioner always, and then when you're drying, obviously try not to scrub it dry, because again, that causes a lot of friction and any unnecessary hair loss and shedding. So what you're doing as guys, you're just kind of blotting it. And for women, if you've got a longer hair, get tangle teaser and detangle your hair, and then wrap it up in a towel, and then you can go to dry and let it air dry as much as you can. So less tugging as possible for that. So number 2, the results of hair loss, emotional and physical. Now, I have gone through slightly with that, but the emotional side, I think, and the psychological side of it is really quite deep, and this is where it gets a little bit emotional. But it's because I've seen clients. I've done hairdressing now for 15 years, and I've worked with hair loss clients for 5. And when you meet someone who you find is at the end of their tether, with looking at themselves in the mirror and seeing bald, thin areas, and it doesn't matter if it's a man or a woman, and it's so important to stress that. There's so many guys out there that would take the mickey out of their mates for going, "Oh, baldy, oh, you're going a bit thin, why don't you shave it off?" Oh, like this. And a lot of the time, the lads will laugh it off, and I understand that, like, it's lad banter. I've got groups of mates who are all lads. We play football, and there's that kind of lad banter, but that cuts deeper and deeper and deeper every single time. Now, if he's been losing his hair since he was 21 and he's now 35, he's had 14 years of this lad banter joke. It's so in him, so deeply rooted into him, where he becomes that if he doesn't laugh, he will either lash out or he'll cry or anything like that. So he just closes up. Now, he's never going to tell anyone that, even probably their wife, their boyfriend, their husband, whoever. So what's the most important thing about hair loss is making sure that you talk about it. Now, if you can get a good hairstylist, like my clients have, that can feel like they can open up, or the hairstylist can tackle it in a way where it's nice and private and not many people are talking, it'll be a weight lifted off your shoulders for men to talk about it. Now, if they go in the barbers, it's very quick, you don't really talk about it much, and you do need a hairdressing appointment where you've got like half an hour or a little bit longer to talk about your hair. But guys, I think you should talk to someone that you can open up to, even if it is a stranger, even if it is a therapist, to talk about your hair. I know it sounds so daft, because so many people wouldn't go to a therapist to talk about the hair. It's the psychology behind it and how it's making you feel. You can really go into depression and anxiety. There's a story that I had on one of my first hair loss clients. It was so sad, where he would go to a water park on holiday, and he would order his girlfriend and his girlfriend's sister to stand at the bottom of the water park slide, ready to catch his cap and stick it back on his head before anyone could see. No one knew him apart from those 2 people in the whole water park. He comes from England and they went to Spain. That's how deep rooted it is. He does not want even anyone to feel like he's judging, because he's been told that all the way through the years of how much judgment he's had. So why would he open up to his mates like that? So lads and women, I think women have got a better network for people, and I wish men would follow that. because I think women have got it, they've got it sorted. They can talk open and it's great, but men don't. Men, go and see someone, go and find someone that you know you're going to be comfortable with, whether it's your gran or a therapist or anyone that you feel comfortable. Talk to them. Women, I think, you know, women from a very early age have been told, generally speaking, that their makeup, their hair, their dress sense, their femininity all has to be all together in one way. And when one part of that puzzle is gone, it then becomes, you know, then don't feel like a woman. They're not confident. They get anxiety. You know, it really is a tough time for them. So talk straight away. Again, you've really got to talk about this, because this isn't just about the way you look and how people perceive you, because people will not look at you that deeply to think something's wrong. They'll just go, oh, you know, it's Sarah. She's got maybe got fine hair, but they wouldn't even think like that. They just think that's Sarah as a package. What they don't know is Sarah's dying inside because she doesn't feel like she's feminine enough because her hair's not thick enough. So I really do think that just opening up to one person, that's all you need, that one person. And then you can then start looking for things to help you along the way. Now, before I go on to number 3, I'm just going to sort of see how we're getting on. Hi guys, how are we doing? Thank you very much for tuning in. I've just been rambling on. If there's anything that you feel like you've missed, please just put in the comments as well, so we can chat along as well. So for the third part, I'm just gonna, there we go. For the third part is hair products and for hair loss. Now, there is a multi-million pound industry with shampoos, treatments, supplements, and are they any good? Where's the proof? Where is it coming from? I really struggle on this. I saw a segment on This Morning last year with Dr. Ranj. Now, he's a very well respected doctor, and he talked about hair loss options and preventative products, and I really felt like it was a bit of a advertisement more than a honest feel on it, because it was very much like, these are the products, brand. And every single product he talked about. So this was a shampoo from wherever, and it's very well regarded. The clinical studies show there's a very small percentage of anything. And it just didn't, every single product he went along, he did not come out with this helps, this can definitely, like, because ultimately my opinion is they don't work. They could possibly slow down preventing something, especially when it's genetics. When we go back to genetics is the strongest thing we've got in our bodies. If something's going to happen, it's going to happen. And, you know, we get old. We invented Botox, and that started doing, but ultimately it's still going to go on. It never stops. Now, I think when it comes to shampoos, I would say shampoos are probably one of the better ones, because they can also help you feel like you can style your hair better. So recently I've started trying out, I'm doing a full review on manual men's hair and skin, and they gave me a power shampoo which has got caffeine, peptides in. And caffeine, obviously to us, to our heart rate, really kind of picks up our heart rate, make sure the blood circulation goes round. So the theory is in the shampoo, it picks up the blood circulation around the hair bulb. So make sure the hair bulb's nice and fed and it's all good. And it's going to stay there for as long as possible. That could happen. And I don't know entirely what the percentage results are, but they're not very high, because ultimately genetics will happen. It will kick in. No shampoo's going to stop it coming out. And I'm sorry if I'm being a bit kind of brutal with it, because in my hair salon, I've got 2 hair salons, and I do not sell any hair loss shampoos, supplements or treatments, because I don't believe in them. I've been doing it for 15 years and I've never seen anything that's actually helped. I've tried, don't get me wrong, I've tried in the past to use them, or I've tried in the past to watch a client who's bought them off the internet, or gone to trichologists to get them, and ultimately it doesn't work for me. And this is just my opinion, my professional opinion of 15 years. So what I would say is, if you're looking after yourself with nutrients, and you know your body's working one of the best it can be, then whatever's going on in your hair is the best it can be. And if you're not happy with that, then you've got to look at other options, which nicely takes me to number 4. Are there any cures? Now, when I mean cures, I'm going to go down the medical route, surgical route, and for I'll call it fake hair. So the hair that's not yours, that's going to be added to your hair. So when you are thinning, first of all, we'll go from someone who has had a good amount of hair and been happy with, and they've just started now seeing some finer areas, and it's starting to look a little bit see-through. Now, there's a couple of things that you can do. You do have cover powders, which I did have in my bag of tricks, which is a shame I haven't got now, because I would have liked to have shown you. And what they are, they're a hair fiber. They're the same color as your hair, and then you tap it just over. In fact, what I'll do, this is a style dust, and I'll just show you what I'll do. You just tap it, and if you can see, tap. This is white, and this obviously will be your color, and it blends into your scalp. So it basically powders over your scalp, and then takes the overall feel of scalp away and gives you more of a thicker, fuller hair. Downsides are, once you wash it, or if you get caught in heavy rain, it can run. So you do need a good hairspray, setting spray. This is for men and for women. The plus side is that it's quite cheap. It's a cheap product, so you can get something that's quite good now, between £5 and £10, and that will last about, good few months at least. And it does the job. It's kind of like makeup for hair, I suppose, in a way. That's the best way I can show. And the next one is for fake, obviously for fake hair, is a hair topper. Now, this isn't a full wig. I'll get to those in a minute. This is something that's just going to add a little bit to your hair. And what this generally is a disc of material with hair on top, and underneath there's some clips, and you just clip it on. And it's obviously, you need to match it to your color of your hair. You can get help with your hairdresser, or if you go online, they give you shade charts as well, and then you just have to pick the right color. They can be between £50 all the way up to £500, just depending on the length, the color, the quality of the hair. And that just clips on, and you go about your every day. You can actually put your hair up with it as well, and you come back home, take it off, and then put it to one side, and you can style it, you can straighten it. It's all real hair, so you can use it just as your own. And then you've got extensions, hair extensions. Now, there are so many hair extensions out at the moment. and you do need to visit a professional for this. I've seen far too many people doing DIY jobs at home, getting a friend to do it, and it's hideous. It's not only is it damaging to the hair, it looks rubbish as well. They haven't been cut properly or styled properly. So, I would always go to a professional for that. And there's different types for that. So if you've got a hairdresser near you that you trust and you know well, or got a good reputation, look on Instagram as well. I think Instagram's excellent for recommendations for the right salon in your area. And go and sit and talk to them and ask them what they can do regarding your hair. So going a little bit further down the line, if you've got any more, anything like scarring alopecia, something that's really quite brutal, you can really see, but quite obvious, of full male or female pattern baldness, there's a couple of different ways you can go about it. Now, number one is the hair transplant route. And the hair transplant, I think some of the results that I've seen have been fantastic. They're phenomenal. They're your own hair. It's your own hair for a start. Now, pluses and minuses of a hair transplant. Now, you can go to Turkey and get it done for $2 grand and feel like it's been on a holiday, right? That's great. If you come back and you've had a good service and it's gone well, then well done. If you've got it for $2 grand, then fantastic. But just to explain what they've got to do, they've got to take healthy hair from the back of your head, which is normally around 2 to 3 inches deep. So around about there. They've got to take all of those fresh hair bulbs and put them into the areas that you need. Generally, obviously, around that crown area, through the middle, and around the front. It's a surgical process. So you're getting it surgically removed. So there is going to be scarring out in the back. Now, generally, your hair bulbs can regrow, so that grows back. Some of the scarring I've seen is that bad, the guy has to grow the hair longer at the back. Now, we all know, we're all pretty familiar of a mullet, and that could happen. So therefore, you have to grow the rest of your hair. That's if this grows. Now, just to give you a percentage in which, and again, I'll go back to it, you're fighting against genetics. So around 10 to 80% fully grow back. So 10 to 80%. Now, my reckoning, that is what, 50-ish percent, 40 to 50%, that you're handing over your money to get that done, to have scarring done for it to grow back. That's the whole of it. But when that hair grows back, if that 50% chance that hair grows back, it will last between 1 to 5 years. So if you're a guy who is 25 and he's completely lost his hair, because there's plenty of them out there, and he's far too young, that will last till when he's 30 at the very best. He then goes back again. He then gets surgical removal around the back again, gets put back in again. Now, that is going to be a damaged area, and you're going to be going over it again, and then you'll be putting it in. Now, what if at the very, very best, that is going to give you another 5 years? You're going to be at 35 years old, knowing that you need to go through that surgical practice again for the 3rd time, when you're surgically removing from the back. It just seems brutal. And at the time, this could cost you between 2 to 8 to 10 grand at a pop. So you've not only got the money, you've got the scarring, you've possibly got the hairstyle you don't actually want, but you've got hair. Now, I'm giving you the worst kind of possible slant on it, because to me, I just feel like it's amazing what we can do, us humans. It is amazing, and it's probably changed a lot of people's lives, but let's not like beat around the bush. This is how long it lasts, and this is how much it costs, and this is what it can do to your scalp. I've seen people that have had it done, and their scars are so bad they've just got to shave everything off now and have a scarred head at the back. It just looks brutal. And I've seen some that are great. So, you know, but the facts are, it's 10 to 80% that will fully grow back. So around about the 50% mark, and it will last between 1 and 5 years. So that is your hair transplant. Now, a big passion of mine with hair systems, especially male and female pattern baldness and severe alopecia, are called hair systems. Now, before I go on to them, I'm just going to see if how everyone's getting on and doing well. They're all still logged in, so it's nice to see. Say hi to us as well. If you can, that would be really good. And I hope the quality as well is okay for you. So with hair systems, it's an instant piece that's applied to your scalp. They were known as toupees back in the day, and the reason why they're not called toupees anymore is because the quality and the designs are far superior to an old-fashioned toupee. So I'm going to show you now. It's going to be a little bit comical. I'm going to show you what a hair system looks like. This is fresh out the box. This hasn't been styled, cut, or anything. So this hair here, one of my clients here, he's got 40% of white hair in his own hair. So you can see it's got white hair running through it. And underneath, this is called a PU skin membrane. This membrane is made as close to skin as possible. So it swells and retracts with heat. And it also has hair injected in. Now, these thousands of strands of hair are on this tiny, tiny, thin piece of membrane. And yeah, so what happens, you can either use a glue or a tape, and you stick that to the head, and you go on your way. They're the perfect color match as well. There are hundreds of different color matches that you can try, so you will always find something that you like. And I'm actually going to be doing a transformation with myself with a hair system in a couple of weeks' time. My other half is a barber, so I trust him to put it on. Okay, and hopefully it should be quite fun to do as well. So just to kind of go over how long they last and things like that, because it's only fair to talk about when I'm talking about hair transplants, is the hair system itself can last between 3 and 10 months. But every month you'll come in to see your professional. Now, there's loads of professionals over in the UK. There's a company in particular that I work with called Novo Cabello, which I'll share with you as well in the comments to follow them on Instagram. And they supply and fit to train people all over the country to fit the hair systems as well. You can pick any style, any length, any color. This obviously depends on the cost as well. So for women, if you want something that's like an 18-inch long hairdo, it's going to cost a hell of a lot more than what the hair system I showed you. So they can probably generally cost between £300 to £1,000. Now, the £1,000 ones are long hair for women, and they can last up to 12 months as well, because generally women do a lot less with men. Men are a lot more heavy-handed with the shorter styles, so they last around about 4 months. So they are fantastic. And if you do want to know more, then please, when you visit me on, even if you put in the comments below, or you visit me on Instagram, please direct message me and ask me anything more, because I do think this is really important to talk to people about the options of curing or just not curing your fine hair, in your hair loss, it's really kind of getting your confidence back, because I know how good I feel with just a nice haircut, and it must be horrible for people to go round with fine hair, bald patches, and just not feeling okay with it. Some people are. Some, like, I've met blokes that are generally like, right, I'm going thin now, I'm going to get it shaved off, and I'm okay with that, and that's good. That's, you know, as long as your mental health is good, then everything on the outside doesn't matter. But if it's not good because of something on the outside, it needs to be fixed, or it needs to be improved. So we've got a question and an answer as well. So if there's anything that you do want to ask, then please fire away now. I'm your personal hairdresser, and I've got another 5 minutes to go before I have to say sayonara, see you later. But just to go over, my Instagram is Rob's Lifestyle 1. If you want to get me there, that's a little bit more fashion and comedy based, and my and the hair systems as well on Instagram. If you do want to look more into that, it's Novo Cabello Hair, and just give them a cheeky follow and a like, and just to ask them who their professional is nearby. That would be great too. So if you've got anything in mind that you would like to, I'm gonna just see if there's, there we go. Again, I'm still getting used to all of these. So my Instagram is Rob's Lifestyle 1, and it's Novo Cabello Hair on Instagram as well. Instagram there. And you know, they will really help you out with there. I hope you really liked this. I really enjoyed it, actually. I'm surprised I've gabbled on for like, what, 50 minutes or something. Making sure that I've like done this correctly, you know. So if there's no one just going to pop up there, so that's absolutely fine. Thank you very much for watching. It's excellent. Please ask me any questions that you want in the comments below, and if you haven't subscribed already, then please do so. That would be brilliant. And click the like button as well on my videos. And I shall be back in the next couple of weeks for another live streaming. I will be talking about certain reviews that I've been doing, and ways to get your Instagram and your YouTube out there for you to try different products that you've always wanted to as well. But for now, thank you very much. I really do appreciate it, and it wasn't as scary as what I thought. And I'm going to go and have a beer now. So take care. See you soon. Bye.